One of the things I like to do to avoid procrastinating is writing down all of the steps of what I think I need to do within the next 15 minutes to an hour or so. The problem, however, is that if you're starting something new, like a new art or skill or content creation that you've never done before, you have no idea what the steps are. So before that, what I like to do is I like to schedule what I like to call playtime, which is about 1 to 2, maybe even 3 hours of unscheduled time where I am completely free to mess around and try different things to gather data and figure out what the actual process looks like, because then I'll have a better understanding and be able to write down what I want to do in the next 15 minutes and push past procrastination. Now, perfectionism is the enemy of this, okay? So in order for this to work, you have to let go of things being perfect and be willing to be messy. And especially when it comes to content creation, you have to be willing to be messy and imperfect publicly. And so you just got to do it. So you procrastinate due to people's fear of people's judgment. Well, guess what? Which is going to be worse when you're 90 years old? You judging yourself for never taking the chance on you, or other people's opinions who by all reason will probably already be dead. The truth is, everyone who's judging you is going to die, and you won't care about their opinions when you look back on your life. And so, if anything, you should switch to fear of letting yourself down, and use that as fuel to move past procrastination and start that thing that you've been thinking about. Start learning that skill that you've been trying to learn. It doesn't benefit you or the world to procrastinate on starting to do something that is in your heart to do. It just doesn't. It doesn't benefit the world or you at all. You don't become the greatest version of you, and the world misses out on this awesome version of you. So don't procrastinate. Get started. Perfectionism and procrastinating are the enemy of artistic creativity. For example, if I wanted to have a complete plan and a perfect understanding of what I was doing with this painting before I started, I never would have started, because getting the perfect plan is often a means to procrastination. You think you're doing the work, but you're actually just procrastinating. And so depending on what kind of work you're doing, if it's creative work, the best you can do to create a great plan is to try a whole bunch of stuff and gather data, and then you'll get closer and closer to the goal. I knew I wanted to do something abstract, but instead of making out an entire plan, I just started throwing things on the painting, and now I have a better idea of where it's going. It's not done yet. There's a lot of blank white space here that I can do, but I threw things on the canvas. I got a better idea of what I wanted based on what I was looking at, and then I was able to actually make progress on the painting instead of waiting for it to be perfect. Perfection is your enemy, okay? If I wanted this to be perfect, I never would have made it, and I never would have learned the lessons I needed to learn in order to make the next one better. So I wouldn't even have this painting here, and I wouldn't have all the lessons that came from it. So for example, I wanted this painting to be mostly like this spot here, very dark contrast, but I made a mistake. I put too many different shades of blue, and so it kind of blurred out this section over here. And so part of becoming an artist and not procrastinating is to just try things and be okay with it not being perfect, because an imperfect data stream is better than no data at all. Because by doing this and understanding that it wasn't going to be perfect in the beginning, I still got something that was pretty cool. And I also learned a lot that can make the next one better. Whereas if I had tried to get the perfect plan right away, I never would have made it, and I still wouldn't have a painting. So you procrastinate just like me. Well, here's 4 reasons why you might be doing it. Stress, anxiety, rebellion, or fear. It either stresses you out because it's too big and you have all of these different ideas in your head of what you should be doing. Fear of other people's judgment if it's a new creative adventure. Or rebellion if your boss is telling you to do something you don't want to do. Or it just causes anxiety. Or it could be a mix of all of those things. Here's what I've done. I personally like to write down everything that I want to do. If I'm doing creative work, I'll set aside a significant block of time so I know I have the freedom to mess around and try new things. It doesn't have to be strictly regimented, and that way I'm more likely to actually get creative work done as opposed to trying to write out every single thing that I want to do in order to be creative. and schedule it all. I write out the general ideas of what I need to do, and then I just go and do it. And I try to condense it down to about 15 minutes or less of work. That way it's not too overwhelming in my head.